that real quick. We'll run it from there. Hitting with a. All right, yeah, we in there. So welcome. We back again, once again, time and time again, my friends. And yes, another market breakdown, just as we do Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come kick it with your boy. Subscribe. Make sure you have the post notifications turned on so you do get notified anytime I do go live or post educational content on this channel. So, alarms going off to make sure I'm doing my due diligence. For the consistency, drop your boy a thumbs up. And yes, let's get right to it. Let's go ahead and break down what we had today, NFP week. So non-farm payrolls came out today, Friday, first Friday of the month. If we do go to XAUUSD on the monthly, we spoke about it plenty of times. Previous structure of resistance right in this area. Broken to the upside, retested as support, broken close to the downside, retested, rejected to the downside, now coming back for the retracement. So we had non-farm payrolls come out, a little bit of news that has put some liquidity into the market and given us almost a different direction. If we do drop down to the weekly, what can we see is that we were failing to break below some of this structure support. We've tapped into it multiple times, not only once, but twice, thrice, for a third time, and we rejected that area quite strong, pushing to the upside as we are ending the week. We will most likely end the week as the candle is forming now. We have about 2 hours left on this market. And if we do drop down to the daily time frame on the daily, we were expecting more continuation to the downside, and we still need to see a break below some of this structure before we look for an opportunity. That's why we wait for the candles to close before we get into a trade or even look for a setup, just to put the probabilities in our favor. Did not get that, and now the market is rejecting to the upside. If we continue to move to the upside from a daily time frame perspective, breaking above some structure, we could see this actually come back and retest some of these areas up in here, which could provide a good setup for a continuation for a monthly retracement. Now remember, from the monthly perspective, which is the most powerful, you want to see the direction and everything in alignment. So right now we are in a monthly area of support. We could see the market reject from this area just for a little bounce on the monthly, which could provide on the daily further continuation to the upside. But we will see how we go into this winter. XAGUSD on the monthly time frame, we are starting to break and look what it looks like to be closed above some monthly structure, but we are coming to retest some of these highs up in here because we do have a candle that the next one we want to see fill in the wick. For the most part, we've had higher highs and higher lows on lower time frames. We just want to see this at least come retest the highs. If we drop down to the weekly, we can see this in a little more detail. We've had an area of support right in here. Once again, these pairs are correlated. They are commodities. They do have USD on the back end of them, so they are going to be showing some sort of the same patterns or direction. So be mindful of that if you do trade multiple of these pairs. But on the weekly, we do have an area that we wanted to see the market break and close above, which we are starting to get that. And if we do get that, a nice and easy retracement would provide a easy setup for us from a daily time frame perspective. Dropping down to the daily, you can see that we've had an explosive move to the upside, breaking above some structure. Looks as if we want to come retest some of these highs in here, providing here a retracement, a proper retracement in some of these areas, and what looks like to be a continuation to the upside, more than likely going to be somewhere right in here, would provide the best probabilities to see this continue to the upside. So that's what I'll be looking for. If we drop down to XBPUSD from the monthly time frame, you can see that we've had quite very explosive move to the upside. On the monthly, we've had 3 candles really exploding, not showing any signs of slowing down on this market. So the rest of this month could provide a possible move to the upside, continuation to come retest some of these wick highs from a weekly perspective. But ultimately, we need the retracement in order to see this market continue to the upside, which is what it's showing from the higher time frame perspectives. But if we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see we did come into an area of previous structure right in this area that acted as structure multiple times, and then from there we exploded to the upside. If we do get the continuation breaking above some of this structure and a retracement, a proper retracement somewhere in this area, I will be looking for a continuation to the upside on this market. Now if we drop down to US oil from the monthly time frame, spoke about it plenty of times before. From the monthly, just very simply keeping it consistent and very simple on the RN. Previous structure resistance, broken to the upside, came back to retest it. Now it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is in the Forex market or in trading general. We just want to see this area act as previous structure resistance over on here, act as support over on here, and this is exactly what we're getting, especially with the news coming out today. But if we drop down to the weekly time frame, on the weekly, we can see that we've called this out multiple times before. We've had this area right in here that you don't want to see the market once broken and close back above, break down below, close below. Since then, we've gotten a little bit of break above. We got the retest of this area, and then the explosive move coming in this week to probably end out the week. If we look at from the daily time frame perspective, we can see exactly what we've been talking about for a while now, couple weeks. So we've had this area right in here broken down below, came back into the area, didn't want to see this break and close below the left shoulder, some sort of inverted head and shoulders. Now we're seeing the explosive move to the upside, which is exactly what you want to see to go ahead and continue to create the most common pattern in the market. Break above structure, this is the most previous structure, come back, retest that structure as the opposite, so it was resistance over on this side, now acting as support, and from there you want to see the continuation to the upside for just a higher high to be created. So I expect more continuation on this market to go ahead and complete the most common pattern in the market to the upside on US oil. If we drop down to Euro USD from the monthly time frame, this pair has been extremely bearish from the monthly time frame perspective. If we do get the retracement, which would be a monthly retracement, which doesn't mean that this is a full reversal. We're dropping down to the weekly time frame. You can see we are starting to reject some of these levels that we've pointed out before. We don't want to see the market break below and close below some of these levels, which was previous structure on multiple occasions, very strong structure, support or resistance over here. You want to see it retested once coming from above, acting as support for a continuation to the upside. So that could be possible from a weekly time frame perspective. Since we want to see this market show us the monthly retracement, remember this is multi-time frame analysis along with structure to give us the highest probabilities. Now we pointed this out that we had a structure candle here on the daily. Since then we rejected that candle and that area very aggressively to the downside, and once the news came out today, non-farm payrolls, we had the move to the upside. We could see possible continuations out of this area just for the monthly retracement to go ahead and retest some of these areas up in here. So we still need to see some structure broken from the daily to go ahead and look for this pattern to look impaired to be bullish, or possibly look for moves to the upside. So we still need to wait for that. If we drop down to GBPUSD monthly time frame perspective, we started the retracement. Maybe looks like the retracement is getting rejected, but if we look at the weekly time frame, you can see that this retracement was needed in order to see the continuation to the upside. Now we don't want to see the market break and close below some of this structure right in here, which we have not yet. We still have the wick down in here. We're probably more than likely going to close somewhere up in here, and from there we could possibly see a continuation to the upside, just to go ahead and see a retest of some of these areas possibly in here for a monthly retracement continuation. We could see just a bearish candle, a small term bearish candle forming now, because we still have multiple days until the monthly candle closes. So keep that in mind as well. On the daily of GBPUSD, you can see that we started the retracement quite aggressively coming back in. We've had a lot of bullish candles coming back, started the retracement, breaking highs coming in here. Now we are starting to slow down the retracement and making stronger moves to the downside, which could possibly be the continuation to the downside that the market is going to provide from a higher time frame perspective as well. We are so bearish, so until we see some structure broken on higher time frames, you really can't classify any of these pairs as being bullish. But for short term, we would need to see several levels of structure broken and created, more than likely right around this area, to come in and see the market break above this area in order to look for buy opportunities. But as it is right now, the continuation to the downside is probably the most probable, since we are so bearish. But more than likely, since I'm undecided, I'll stay away from trading that pair until I get a clear direction either way. AUDUSD on the monthly time frame. Now, we spoke about it. We want to see the market come into this area because it is a magnet to the market. There's a lot of orders probably sitting around in there, and take profits, stop losses as well. But if we drop down to the weekly time frame on the AUDUSD, you can see that we are starting to break above some weekly structure. So it could be a minute before we start to see the move to the downside on AUDUSD. We are starting the retracement from a monthly time frame perspective. We have this area right in here, which is previous structure support, that will more than likely act as resistance just from pure market structure and the way that it works. Now, dropping down to the daily time frame, you can see with the news coming out, we've had a very explosive move to the upside, breaking above some structure that you want to see retested and acting as the opposite. Previous structure resistance should act as support over on this side, coming from the upside. So we're coming to retest down below from the upside. It should act as resistance, and we could possibly see further continuation to the upside to go and retest some of these areas up in here. USDCAD from the monthly. Now, we've spoken about USDCAD, extremely bullish from the monthly time frame perspective, very extremely bullish, breaking to the upside, but you can't go in one direction forever. So we need the retracement in order to see more continuation on USDCAD. On the weekly, we've pointed out several levels of structure right in here. This is some weekly support that we are starting to break and close below as it is right now. If we do get a possible retest of this area, more continuation to the downside is highly likely. Dropping down to the daily time frame, you can see a very aggressive move to the downside. We spoke about this level previously before on the last live stream last Wednesday. We said that this was previous structure right in here. It acted as resistance over in here, that if retested once again should act as resistance, and that's exactly what happened. Now, this is an example of why trading in general is not exact. We had a retest and the market closed above just to go ahead and trap some traders in above this level that thought it was going to hold, but just simple understanding of multi-time frame analysis that the market is due for a retracement in order to continue to the upside, and breaking down and going through each time frame to get the correct direction on all time frames to give the highest probabilities is what's trapped these traders in some buys, and the market has extremely shot down to the downside, either stopping them out or closing out their accounts. Margin call. If we look at NZD USD from the monthly time frame, we are starting the retracement as well. So this is the monthly retracement. We're going to retest some monthly structure, which isn't a full reversal. But if we look at it from a weekly time frame perspective, we can see that we are starting to break above some structure to come back and retest some structure as it is right now. So in order to continue the retracement, on the monthly time frame perspective, we still need a retracement down on lower time frames. And if we look at the daily, we can see that we did point out this area as previous structure support, that we want to see either the market explode to the upside or break down below in order to see continuation. But we started to make the move to the upside with this news, so we could see further continuation. If we get more movement to the upside after the impulse, we could see a possible retracement down in some of these areas before you see the next move to the upside to go and finish the monthly retracement. USDCHF monthly time frame. You know, this is my baby, but previous structure resistance now acted as support, made the move to the upside, created the higher high. You can't move in one direction forever. You need the retracement to come. Retracement is more than likely to come down into this area. Now, if it stops or if it breaks below, nobody knows. We can't predict the market. We just have to react when it does come into that area and make a move away. From the weekly time frame perspective, we wanted to see the market show us a weekly retracement. Now, we did have a very strong rejection of these highs up in here, creating a double top. Now, you can see this in a little more detail. If we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see that we had the spike up in here that got us rejected to go ahead and retest some of these lows. And then once we did push into this area once again, we've had this big move to the downside. So after this retracement, there could be a possibility that the move to the downside, break down below some areas of structure, come back to retest the M formation that the market made, and that could provide the possible momentum to the upside to go ahead and see this market make a move to the upside to create a higher high. Now, on this way to the downside, if it's breaking structure, it will be breaking and creating structure, which we could take advantage of right in here as well from a daily time frame perspective. So a lot going on USDCHF. Really for the people that understand how trading works and market structure with multi-time frame analysis. So stay away if not. USDJPY, extremely bullish to the upside, breaking structure and creating structure. Now we're starting the retracement from a monthly time frame perspective. Just starting, if we drop down to the weekly, you can see that we had this level in the market that we want to see the market stay below if it wanted to make a move to the downside, and stay above if it wanted to go ahead and break some structure or retest some structure to the upside. Dropping down to the daily time frame, you can see that with this news coming out today, we've started what looks like a move to the downside where we could see further continuation on this market. If we get a possible retracement, a nice retracement in this area, we could see more continuation to the downside, just at least to go ahead and complete TMCP, the most common pattern in the market. Now, with the Forex market done, we can drop down to Bitcoin, BTC, USD from a monthly time frame perspective. Talked about it multiple times. Previous structure resistance, now turn support. Once retested over on this side, we are starting to get the move to the upside on this pair as well. So same rules apply, same concept, same everything, keeping it consistent. On the weekly, we are starting to break above some weekly structure that you want to see the market break and retest, as it is a healthy trend to the upside. Now, we're not expecting an explosive move to go ahead and retest all-time highs, but if we drop down to the daily time frame, you can see that exactly what we wanted to see. The market come back, retest some of these levels down in here, then make a move to the upside for more continuation. If the market does break and close above, retest some of this previous structure resistance, now turn support, we could look for a continuation to the upside to go ahead and complete just a daily TMCP. So the most common pattern in the market from a daily time frame perspective will be a simple break above structure, close, retest some of that structure as the opposite, and from there make a higher high. Now, that's pretty much all I got. Any charts in the chat? If y'all got them, say them now. Forever hold your peace. But remember, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, in between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have this live stream. Come kick it with your boy. Make sure you're subscribed so you get notified when I do go live. You can tap in, ask some questions. I'll answer in all questions, going over any charts anybody puts in the chat. But just for the sake of time, I'm not trying to waste anybody's time. We just go through the pairs that we went through today. Now, I hope you all are having a profitable day on and off the charts. I hope you had a profitable week as well on and off the charts, and we'll be back next week to cover this foreign exchange market with a little bit of commodities and a little bit of Bitcoin as well, back on Monday. So Until next time, that's it.